Hello everyone. How are you? So this is the second lesson for this week. This is week 7. I hope that you would have started doing or even completed the listening task from day 1, week 7. So in this video, I'll explain what you need to do for your second lesson, and it has a writing as well. Have you done your writing from last week? From my class, some of you have done it, some of you haven't as of today. So I hope to get more of your writings in the coming days, and the same with Suli's class. If you haven't done your writing yet from last week, please do that. And please remember to do your Dynaspeak online as well. And Unit 4 is open till the end of this week, so you can catch up with whatever you haven't done so far. Okay, so today's lesson has a reading and a writing task and some grammar as well. Okay, let me just quickly take you through what the grammar is. Just give me a moment. I'll share the document with you. Right. So that's the grammar for the second lesson, and it's about gerunds. As some of you would have already learned gerunds in your previous levels or in your other English classes. So a gerund looks like a verb because it ends in ing, but it works as a noun. So it has got a different name. English could be a little bit weird, but yeah. So its work is a noun, but it looks like a verb, or it looks like present participle because it ends in ing. So this grammar lesson is about gerunds because in academic English we usually use nouns more often use nouns than verbs. So, exercise 1 gives you a list of some common words which we would like you to write the gerund for. So, they could be nouns or they could be the normal noun that we use. For example, words like 9, number 9. The word is group. Group is a noun. But we also have another noun, which is a gerund, an ing, because the action group, put people in groups, that's an action. So that's why we want you to make gerunds out of these words. So some of these words could be nouns and some of them could be verbs. If you don't know any of these words, it's a good chance to check the meaning of these words in your dictionary and then write down the gerunds here. So this will come to you as a Google document, so you can type up your answer and submit to your teacher. And there are also some important notes that's given, so please read them. And there is a grammar reference for you to read and look at some examples of how to use gerunds in sentences. So you can go through those examples and notes. And there's this exercise 2, that's the final exercise. So it's just got 2 exercises. So exercise 2 is where you identify a gerund. But usually we use gerund as part of a phrase. A phrase means group of words. And a gerund phrase is a noun phrase because a gerund works as a noun. So gerund phrase usually works as a subject or the object of a sentence. So there will be another verb, a proper verb in the sentence, which is called as the main verb because a gerund is not a verb. So read the sentences in this exercise, and we want you to identify the gerund phrase. So a phrase means more than one word. So you need to highlight it and then replace the gerund phrase with it. So you just have to replace it with the word it. For example, looking at the example here, putting the schedule is the gerund phrase here. Putting the schedule, and putting is not the verb here. You see in the sentence, putting the schedule on the website is the gerund phrase, and the verb is made. Made is the main verb. But putting the schedule on the website is the gerund phrase. And here it works as the subject. So you have to highlight it, so you can bold it or you can just type it again as your answer, or you can underline it. And then rewrite the sentence using it. So in this case, the entire gerund phrase becomes it. So as you can see in the answer, it really made it much easier to plan our meetings. What does it mean? It means putting the schedule on the website. So read these sentences, identify the gerund phrases, underline them or highlight them, and then rewrite the sentences by replacing the gerund phrase with it. Okay, yeah, it's quite a useful exercise because gerund phrases are very important in academic writing. So that's the grammar lesson for day 2 of week 7. And we also have another one, which is a reading and writing lesson. So there's a reading here, which is a reading about different people who have achieved something. So there are pictures and there's a short paragraph about each person there, as you can see, and the paragraphs are not complete because they've got blanks. And if you look at carefully, it's the blanks have got two different kind of numbering. One is you've got numbers 1 to 10. And for each of these 1 to 10, there is a verb given in brackets here. Like after number 10, you can see the word sell. So you have to fill in the blank using an appropriate form of the verb sell. So read the paragraph and you need to fill in the blanks 1 to 10 using an appropriate verb. So that's exercise 1, as you can see here. So read the short text about the famous personalities. Fill in the blanks 1 to 10 with an appropriate form of the verb. And the verbs are given in brackets next to the sentences. So you can fill in the blanks, but you cannot type there because the reading text itself is a picture format. So I've given a table here. So that's got numbers 1 to 10. So type your answers here. From 1 to 10, you can type the verbs. And you've also got questions A to G. If you look at the paragraphs A to G, where you need to fill in the blank with a phrase from here. And the phrase is a time phrase. So you need to choose one of these time phrases to fill in the blanks A to G. So this is a task in verbs and time phrases. So read the text and fill in the blanks with verbs and time phrases. Okay, but before you read, you would have to do a thinking task, which is about, do you know anyone from your country who has achieved a world record? So it's not just achieving anything, but it's achieving a world record, like a Guinness World Record or a Limca World Record or something like that. So do you know anyone from your country who has done it? What have they done it? Okay, so you can type up a few sentences as your answer and then read the text and you can fill in the blanks. And after doing that, then you have one more exercise where you need to make sentences true about yourselves. So you'll have to fill in the blanks using verb, a proper verb, an appropriate verb. For example, it would be a past simple or it could be present perfect. You'll have to fill in the blank with a suitable verb and a suitable time phrase because every sentence has got a word to do with a time phrase. For example, since or already, and then you need to fill in the blank rest of the sentence to make it true for you. And you've got a writing task, which is just a paragraph, not a lengthy essay like last week. You just have to write a short paragraph about something that you have achieved. You personally have achieved that you're proud of. And you can say what it was. You can give us a little bit more detail about when you did it and how you did it. So you would have to use appropriate tenses, appropriate verbs, and appropriate time phrases to tell us when. Okay, so you'll be using some of the vocabulary that you learned from this reading in your writing. And this is very useful task because your speaking and your writing tasks for event 1 assessments are quite related to this. And also in the coming, even in the further assessments down the line, you will be using appropriate verbs and time phrases anyway. So you should learn how to use correct verb forms, whether you need a past simple or a present perfect and so on. So this reading will be quite helpful. Okay, so um, those are the 2 tasks for today, but they've got quite a good mix of vocabulary, grammar, reading, and writing. And if you need any help or if you don't understand what the task is or how to do a particular exercise, please email or post a question to your teacher and we will be happy to help you. Please don't just struggle by yourselves. We are here to help. I know it's so difficult to learn from home without a face-to-face classroom scenario. I know that most of you are used to it. And even teachers, most of us, or all of us enjoy teaching you, meeting you in person and teaching you. But now we are teaching you from home. And there are lots and lots of limitations. There are things that we can do, things that we cannot do. So you will have to be more motivated and have a plan for yourselves about when you can complete the tasks. And please ask help and ask any question as soon as you get a question. Please don't struggle by yourselves. We're here to help you. Okay. Hope you finish all your tasks from week 6 and catch up with your week 7, and so you'll be ready for your lesson 3 coming very soon. Okay. Till then, please keep safe and keep strong. Look after yourselves. And I really hope that you have made a plan for yourselves by now and finding time to do your learning. Okay. So see you in the video 3 for this week. Till then, keep safe. Bye.